Hello and welcome to the edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, Lotus is teasing a brand new machine at the Shanghai Auto Show. And when I say brand new machine, this is going to be the first all-new vehicle that Lotus has built since 2008. And this is complete blue sky thinking, because not only is it going to be an all-new vehicle, it's going to be an electric, and it's going to be a supercar. So this thing is doubly exciting. It's going to have everything you want. Performance, hopefully some range, and obviously, possibly, world-beating performance. We'll have to wait and see on that front. This vehicle is going to make its official debut coming up later this year in London. And this is pretty much the best photograph you get out of a grainy video that they show off, and that's pretty much all you get to see is this somewhat of a silhouette. If you're a fan of Autocar magazine, they did a nice little rendering of what they think the vehicle might look like. So hopefully we'll hear a whole lot more over the next several weeks and months ahead of its official debut in London. Next up on the list, Aston Martin showing off a brand new machine. This is the brand new DBS 59. This is going to be a callback to the 1959 24 Hours of Le Mans. The race car in the background of this particular photograph, known as the DBR1, that won that iconic race in the hands of Roy Salvadori and Carroll Shelby way back in the day. Now this vehicle is going to be based on the Superleggera DBS model, coming with a twin turbocharged V12, making 715 horsepower, 664 pounds-feet of torque, shipped through an 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60 is achieved in just 3.4 seconds with a top speed of 211 miles an hour. And that's really not the story when it comes to this vehicle, because every one of these models is going to be wrapped exclusively in this Aston Martin green, and it's going to have tons of 59 callouts calling back to that iconic race. All over the interior, it's got bespoke interiors, bespoke specifically only to this vehicle. All the trim and the wheel work and everything like that are all bespoke to this vehicle. This thing has got way more. I'm just talking about the tip of the iceberg of what this vehicle has with tons of callbacks back to that iconic race. And that isn't all that you get. You actually get, well, period correct overalls that Shelby and Salvadori actually wore way back in the day, along with a custom-made vintage-looking helmet done in that same Aston Martin green, along with bespoke luggage with all the 59 callouts on it as well. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There's only going to be 24 of these built for the world. And the trick is it was actually commissioned by one dealership, Aston Martin of Cambridge in the United Kingdom. So you have to go to them to try to get on this list to own just these 24s. They hooked up with the folks over at the Q group over in Aston Martin to build this particular machine. The other trick is they haven't released pricing on this thing, which I'm assuming it's one of those things where if you have to ask, you can't afford it. And as much as I would just absolutely love to own one of those 24 machines, yeah, there's no way I can afford it. Speaking of vehicles I can't afford, the return of the GMC Syclone is now official. Remember the Syclone and the Typhoon that GMC had back in the 80s? These things were world beaters. These things actually were faster than anything built on the planet. Ferrari, Lamborghini, you could think of anything that was built back then. Those truck and SUV would actually outrun those cars. It was amazing times back then. Now granted, supercar technology has come leaps and bounds, and there is no way this new Cyclones are going to be even come close to running any of the supercar, hypercar stuff that's out now. But still, this thing's pretty special. Now, this is done exclusively through your GMC dealership with special work with the folks over at Special Vehicle Engineering. Now, if that thing sounds a little familiar, that group's the same group that did those Yanko Corvettes and those Yanko Camaros, which means that they just don't do anything halfway. These things are very, very well done. The 3.6-liter normally aspirated V6 gets a supercharger along with a bunch of extra work done to it, be able to achieve 455 horsepower. Vehicles can be available in two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive trim. There's a lot more upgrades, including, well, the bulk of the exhaust system, along with all the suspension and braking. And again, we're talking Special Vehicle Engineering. They don't do anything halfway, which means everything gets changed. Rotors, calipers, all the plumbing for the brakes, along with all the springs, all the dampers, all the sway bars are all new for this particular machine. The vehicle drops in ride height 2 inches in the front, 5 inches in the rear. Now, here's the trick. Only 100 of these things are going to be available. So this means that you go into your GMC dealership and you're going to tick the box for this particular package. This particular package is $40,000, which is quite expensive, but you do get what you pay for. The other trick is that's on top of the price of that brand new GMC Canyon, which $40,000 sounds like a good deal, especially for what you're going to get. This thing is really going to be able to perform. But in the end, having a $60,000 to $70,000 GMC Canyon seems excessive. That being said, I would love to park this brand right next to that brand new DBS 59. That would be a hell of a pair to actually have right in the back of old Motor Cars HQ here. So, trick is, we'll see how many of these they sell. I guarantee they're going to sell out of them, and it's going to sell out quick. So, chances are, by the time you've heard this, it's probably too late. So, but if you have to, get on down to your GMC dealership right now. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.